As a reminder, I am not a medical professional. I cannot legally diagnose, prescribe, or treat disease. I can educate. Okay. I am an herbal educator. I am a herbal and lifestyle coach. Okay. So nothing I say can be taken as a replacement for professional medical care. I want that to be very clear. For those of you who are new around here, my name is Sarah, and I have spent the last decade and a little more learning how to heal from a number of things. And I love sharing what I've learned. I have done some formal and semi-formal education. I have been attending Dr. Christopher's School of Natural Healing for the last almost 3 years, and I've completed all my assignments. And the next step is that in, say, 2 weeks or so, they have a week-long Master Herbalist seminar where they have extra lectures and extra testing. And so at the end of that, I will be a certified master herbalist. But in the meantime, I have certified as a family herbalist, as a nutritional herbalist, and as an herbalist. So that's the progression that they do in their courses. What I love about this school is that it's not just about herbs, and it's not just take this herb for this thing. It's about healing the whole body with herbs, with lifestyle, and other natural healing methods, like grounding, sunshine, cleansing, hydrotherapy. There's a lot of cool stuff. So I really love that it is integrative without using methods that are unnatural and which actually counteract the natural stuff that you're trying to do. It's like a whole systems approach. It's understanding how the body actually cleanses, how the body actually nourishes, and how that plays a role in healing. Again, there's certain words I need to avoid for legal purposes. Okay, so here we go. This is what came up when I asked the group, what is your number one health concern or question you would like me to discuss? And, you guys, if you have urgent questions for me, feel free to send me a message. You can either put it in the comments or you can send me a direct message. Most of the time I'll answer, but, like I said, I don't believe in, if someone says, oh, do you have an herb for this? It's like, well, yes, I do, but there's a lot more going on that we need to look at if you really want to get that deeper healing. If you want to just throw a Band-Aid on something, there's lots of options for that. It's not the way I like to work. It's not my preference. But whatever I can give you in like 5 minutes of, messaging you back, I'm happy to help with. Like, that's why I'm here. I want to help people. But, I do recommend that you look into private coaching with me. I will open up some group coaching when the seminar is over and my life has calmed down a little bit. But just wanted to let you know, feel free to ask me questions and I'll either answer or I'll tell you, this really needs to happen over a longer coaching session. So I have this comment from, was this on Monday? That you were concerned with inflammation and autoimmune issues, especially psoriatic arthritis and psoriasis. Hello, all you doggies. Hello. Okay, I know all of them flare because of inflammation, so I'm trying to get that in control. Yes, okay. Okay, let me know if you can hear me okay. I'll move if I need to. I know, wasn't that cute? Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. Inflammation and autoimmune issues. I think we all know that these are not simple. Okay. Let me know if at some point you can't hear me. Just tell me and I will move. Okay. So there's a lot of reasons for inflammation, right? Like many of us were not taught how to eat properly. All right. Many of us were born from several generations of poor eating habits. And that's already, you know, communicating with our genes in such a way that our bodies are not built as strong as they could be, as kind of they're meant to be. It's just going to be this kind of life. It's fine, right? This is real life. Um, and on top of that, we live in, you know, quite possibly the most inflammatory environmental conditions that, you know, humans have ever experienced. We've got Wi-Fi, we've got 5G, we've got electricity running through our homes, all these different electromagnetic fields that are affecting us. We have literally chemicals are being rained down on us in the air, in the name of like weather control and like saving the planet. Yeah, absolutely. And if you have issues where you know, the medical profession has recommended radiation, which is, you know, one of the only legal treatments for certain things, legal treatments, I emphasize. Yeah, absolutely, that has side effects and after effects. And that makes sense that it triggered some autoimmune issues. I'm just catching up here. Yeah, super sensitive and super reactive. Yeah. So you are not alone. This is definitely a topic that I think most people now need to know about, need to learn how to deal with. And so we've got all this coming at us. And then even if we are you know, eating super anti-inflammatory foods like fresh fruits and vegetables, they're going to help flush out radiation from the system. By the way, fruit pectin does that. Fruit pectin removes radiation from the body. Thank you, fruit. These things are naturally detoxifying for us. But then some of us, our digestion is so impaired that we can't even eat fresh fruits and vegetables, right? Like I know some people like that where they just can't eat these very natural, wholesome things anymore because their digestion is not strong. And so there's a lot going on there. The number one autoimmune remedy that I've used and that Dr. Christopher and David Christopher recommend, that's his son that runs the school now. It's called ImmuCalm. So Dr. Christopher's ImmuCalm, IMMUCALM, and you can find it on herbalembrace.com. So I do sell it. I have a wholesale account with Holistic Botanicals, which manufactures Dr. Christopher's products and Holistic Botanicals brand. And so what's in it? It is astragalus root and marshmallow root. And here's the thing about roots. The general theme with roots is that they are deep nutrition. They are high in minerals, especially because they're getting deep into the ground and they are pulling those nutrients from the soil. And so when we have minerals in our body that our body can actually digest and assimilate and use to build healthy tissue, that just naturally reduces the stress in the body, reduces the inflammation in the body, deeply nourishes the body. And so the astragalus, oh, thank you so much. So the astragalus and marshmallow root act as immune system soothers, but they are also builders. All right. So they're calming while they're deeply nourishing. And so this helps, just a moment, sweethearts. So this helps build up a weak immune system. At the same time, it is calming down an overactive immune system. Okay. So this is a very powerful remedy. I have some mild autoimmune issues. And when I'm really consistent with this, I feel like $1,000,000. And, you know, as you may know, Colleen, or others watching this later, sometimes when you have like a really dramatic problem, like any small thing you do, you can really feel dramatic results because it was just so bad. Other times it's like, well, it's going to take a lot more to feel better because it is just so bad. But sometimes when we've been on a healing journey for a while, And it's no longer this stark contrast of like your good days and your bad days. Sometimes it can be really hard to notice, like, or is it even worth it? Like, is it even worth trying? But so that's why I just wanted to offer my perspective as someone with like I have very few bad days anymore, and they're relatively mild. But even so, when I'm really consistent with the Imu Calm, it makes a big difference in my life, in my energy levels, in my stress levels, and just the strength of my body. Like I just feel stronger. I just feel like I can conquer the world. I'm going to take a minute and answer my son's question. Okay, so how do you take this remedy? So you can get it, you can buy it in capsules. I don't think I've seen it in a liquid form, but I could be wrong. Let me double quick. Let me double check quick. Okay. So the most cost-effective way to get this, and here's the thing, I always say the best way to take an herb is however you will take an herb. All right. So if you need the cheapest way possible and you're willing to taste everything and, be more involved in like taking that powder, encapsulating it yourself, or mixing it with water and drinking it down, like if you're willing to do that, great. If you are going to gag unless you have anything but, a tablet, or if your digestion is so impaired that you can't even digest the capsule around the herbs, then you really need a liquid. Like we can talk about this. And I go into this more in my herb chat series on everydayandexperiment.com, how to choose the right sort of mechanism for getting the herbs into your body. And okay, so there are some herbs that you're really not going to get nearly as much benefit unless you taste it. This is not one of those cases. This is totally fine if you don't want to taste it. But it does have a very mild flavor. It's really not bad. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so I have on my website the Imu Calm capsules. So that would be fine. And then the kids version of this, because there's lots of kids with autoimmune issues, which just breaks my heart. It is called Kid-E Soothe. Okay. And I'm going to put these links in the comments afterwards. But that is a liquid extract with the marshmallow root and the astragalus root in glycerin and distilled water. So the remedies that are in glycerin, they taste pretty sweet. And so that's an option for adults too, just because it's called the kids product. To my knowledge, it's not that they dilute them or anything. It's just that they're in glycerin, and in some cases where the adult version would have cayenne in it as a great catalyst, the kid formulas don't. So that's really, other than that, like if you're an adult and you want a liquid formula, that's a great option. So the one that I do actually is I buy a pound of the powder. I can't tell you what to do. What I take is a teaspoon of that powder, and I add it to a little bit of cold water, and then I add some warm water on top of that. And sometimes I'll add maple syrup or honey to it. Excuse me, stir it in, and then just drink it down. And it's, like I said, it's not a strong flavor. It's just kind of a mild root flavor. And so I take about a heaping teaspoon mixed, turned into kind of like a tea slurry thing. I know it's like a really appetizing word. Have a slurry with me. 3 times a day if I really wanted to get at something. And I would do this 6 days a week and take a rest on the 7th day. Any herbal protocol we do, we want to take a rest on the 7th day. On that 7th day, it gives your body a break, and many people will have some extra cleansing on that day. So if you haven't started a program yet, what I recommend is that you think about what day of the week are you okay being a little extra tired and uncomfortable. It's not always that way, but it could be. And designate that as like your 7th day, and then start your day 1 accordingly. Yeah, right. That's the same for me. Colleen says, I don't mind weird flavors if it makes me feel better. Yeah. So I want to give some hope to those of you who have, texture issues, or don't like bitter things, or don't like certain flavors, or tea just tastes like grass to me. I hear that a lot. That's how it was for me too. But over the years, like I can now drink tea without even sweetening it. So your taste buds do acclimate and your body starts to recognize where the true nutrition is coming from. And that opens you up more and more to being able to use these remedies. But anyway, the recommendation that I have been given myself on using that ImmuCalm, a heaping teaspoon 3 times a day, 6 days a week for an entire year, right? Autoimmune conditions generally take a long time to develop, and they can take a long time to heal, because it's a very deep thing, right? It's like how your body is running its command center. So that's my number one thing. And I am coming up on the half hour. Oh, because the dogs are going to eat it. Okay. The one other thing that I wanted to say, and Colleen, you're welcome to ask any like last question before I hop off, but I'm looking at the other health concerns that folks asked about. Let's have some over here. I'm seeing thyroid, I'm seeing hormones, skin issues, blood pressure, inflammation hormones. Yeah, so very common issues, especially for women. And you're the ones that I want to serve the most, right? Like men need help too, but I really want to serve the women. They're easier. Not really, actually. just my experience, giving suggestions to men is they're a little more interested in like the war hero kind of medicine, rather than working on something over a long time. But that's changing. People are being forced to slow down and deal with things because the issues are just piling on top of each other, especially as generations continue. Buddy, can you please close the door and give me a second? Okay, so on all of these things, even the autoimmune, what I'm trained to do and what I have found to be a true principle in my own healing is that you have to look at your elimination pathways. Are they working? All right. Because you can throw any herb you want at anything that's going on. But if your body is not eliminating properly, probably not going to get results. Because at the end of the day, we have to be eliminating properly. And the ways that we do that are through the skin. We have the bowels, we have the kidneys, and we have the lungs. Those are the 4 that I'm going to be talking about. I'll put little snippets in these Q&As as we go. Often we start with the bowels because that's one of the ways that if that's blocked up tends to affect us the most. And so we are going to talk about that as things go. We'll see if I just bring it up at the next Q&A. Maybe I'll have time to make a separate video. We'll see. But we cannot ignore that. Okay, thank you for this info. I appreciate your knowledge. Following you is such a pleasure. Oh, thank you. It was so nice. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get those links into the comments. I'm going to make sure that the ImmuCalm bulk formula is up and running. Again, highly recommend it. When I use it consistently, I feel like I'm on top of the world. And I want to help everyone feel better and learn how to truly get that healing that you're looking for, and not just a band-aid, and not just something that you have to take the rest of your life, because without it, you've ripped the band-aid off. Like, that's not what I'm about. So let's do this. We can do this. All right. All right. So thank you so much for joining me, Colleen. Again, those of you watching the replay, give me #replay, and feel free to comment or ask further questions. And I'll see you next week.